Hey, what's going on, class? This will be my response to making it in sports social media podcast with Brian Clapp and Dallas Mavericks social media manager Becca Jenikov. Um, certain things that I took away from this podcast to begin with. One of the main things that I kind of rang in my head and I already took away from this podcast, first and foremost, was kind of in the middle of the podcast when Jenikov kind of started talking about how she transitioned from being a kind of team member and, a person that just had one or two roles within a sports professional sports team's media group, to being the manager and leader of that group in a different case. So when she was talking about that, one thing that rang in my head a little bit was she said she wanted to, when she first got in that position, she wanted to be remember the manager that, or remember the kind of bosses that she didn't want to become. And the reason that kind of rang in my head is because in my own, world, if I could have it my way, I would want to be running a rec center, or a few rec centers at some point in my life. So that would be requiring me to jump from, being in that position of having just a few responsibilities to having a responsibility of an entire facility and an entire staff or multiple staffs. So kind of take lessons from the good, what I got from that basically was take the lessons from the good bosses that you had, but also take the lessons from the bosses that you ran into that you may not have had great experiences with. There are lessons in those bad experiences that you can take with you, and it can help you still be a good employee during these times that we are in now of just getting these entry-level jobs, and it'll help us in our future when we kind of begin to become leaders in this world that we're in. So that was one big takeaway that I got. I will say that thinking about that also made me think of, what kind of tools do you need to take with you when you're jumping into that new role, when you're jumping from, being a person that in my instance runs just the front desk area and reception area to now becoming I guess a key part in the overall grand scheme of things in your organization. What kind of tools do you need to take with you, and remember when you're in those roles? Something that Jenikov talked about with that, and with just being, I guess, having the patience and having the understanding that you might not get it right away. You need to even as a boss, when you're becoming a new boss in a new role, you're going to have hiccups, and you're going to have certain things go wrong, and certain things happen that you kind of just need to be aware of and need to be ready for, and bringing those tools along with you that you've kind of gained and I guess have sharpened along your way is important. So remembering those things, remembering those lessons, and just bring that overall hard lessons and good lessons and all that with you is important. And it's always important to remember to stay, I guess, patient, but also stay vigilant and be ready for the job that you want, because it is out there. We just kind of have to go look and be ready for that. And once we get in that role, be ready to take advantage and be ready to take control of your own destiny, basically. But that's what I got out of this podcast, guys. So can't wait to hear your responses. Can't wait to see what you guys took away from this as well. Thank you.